Hello and welcome to the Arab and the Manc.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Aya the Arab,
And Dennis
the better
Manc.
one here. I am above you because I'm Arab.
I'd say you're below me because you're a little shorter. You're about a foot below me.
Okay, you got me there. This is Aya the Arab, and this is my lovely husband, Dennis the Mancunian. We are at my in-laws in Manchester recording this episode because I am heading somewhere, hopefully, a bit warmer than the UK. It's snowing at the moment. It's 2.5 degrees and it's very cold. And I'm going to Istanbul. What do you want me to bring you, my love?
Chocolate.
Are you sure? I think chocolate is nicer over here. Do you want some?
Well, I'd like to try Turkish chocolate.
What about Turkish delight?
Turkish delight, yeah, why not?
Afternoon delight. Okay. If you guys hear anything in the background, it is because my father-in-law, God bless him, he loves to put the sound on 50 or 60 minimum. And yeah, makes the house shake. But what can we do? We are the guests. We have to shut up. Sorry, Graham. I know you're listening. Anyway, my love, what have you got for me today?
I have a case from 2006.
Dennis.
It involves the murder of a girl and the subsequent interrogation of a suspect.
Dennis, all your podcasts are crime, murder, witches, dark stuff. Nothing that brings happiness and joy. Everything is sad.
They're boring, that's why.
No, they're not. You can find happy story. Why don't we talk about how we met?
Why don't we do the next one about we'll test all the biscuits in the shop?
Oh my goodness. Shall I bring some biscuits from Turkey? Shall I?
No, just bring them from Lidl.
Well, no, you know all of them ones.
Yeah, but
Okay,
I mean,
we're going to make a video.
that was
oh my god, I love
but
this.
that's
I
because
love this.
no, but that was the reason I said that is because normally I'm not allowed to eat biscuits or anything like that.
Oh
Or
yeah.
you ban them from the house. So yeah, if you do that, I can eat loads of.
Okay, I'll bring you some, and we're gonna go back. You know what? This is our challenge. I'm saying it now that me and you are going to record this by camera because people want to see us.
No.
People want to see our reaction. People want to see
And
my
I can't
beautiful
sit there
face.
in just my underpants like I am now.
You are not, you liar. You wear your jeans and socks. Anyway, here you go. Tell me.
So this
2006.
took place in 2006.
I
yes.
was in Sweden. Anyway.
He was in Sweden. I was in
hold on.
Manchester. I was right here where I am now.
No.
Just in the next room.
In the next room. Anyway, yeah.
This is the haunted room. But what can we do?
I don't like Sean's room. I never have. It's just too dark. There's all the black color here and
It's okay now, but I used to hate it when I was younger. I was scared of it.
really. Oh my god! Because that thingy that touched your shoulder. Leave that for another podcast. Come on, quickly.
Anyway, so this involves a case. So what happened was there was a couple, Ryan,
Where is this first?
in America.
Of bloody course.
Yeah. So a lad called Ryan Waller and his girlfriend Heather Kwan.
Okay.
And they were due to, well, he was certainly due to go to his parents. It happened over Christmas in 2006. So he was due to go to his mum and dad's for Christmas dinner. And he didn't show up. So the family had the dinner and he's still not turned up. Gets to the night time, they're wondering, like, he couldn't get through to him, not answering his phone, nothing like that.
Yeah.
So his dad was, obviously all the family were worried, so his dad especially, though, decided he'd go around to the house
Okay.
to where they were staying, Heather and Ryan,
Yeah.
to check on them. But he also called the police as well because he wanted them to be there because he suspected something might have happened.
Yeah, of course. I would be probably the same. I would have gone there much earlier, though.
Well, they're young, aren't they? So I suppose, 18-year-old, 19, whatever they were. She was 21. I don't know how old he was, actually.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's just say he was probably the same age. So they probably just think, they might be enjoying themselves, whatever. But anyway, eventually they go around there. And so they go, the police go around, they knock on the house. And eventually they get an answer and Ryan is there. His face is got a big black eyes swollen shut and black.
Okay.
And he's acting a bit weird, a bit agitated. And
okay.
and then they can see Heather in the back, just lay on the couch, seemingly asleep. And they want to go in and check on her, and Ryan's like saying you can't and stuff like that first. But eventually they go in. They say like, obviously we are going to check on her. So they go and they check her, and she's dead.
And he wasn't letting them in.
No, he was like he wasn't like forcibly stopping them, but he was agitated and he didn't want them to come in.
He killed
stuff
her.
like that. We'll get there.
Okay.
So the police have a look. She's dead. They immediately handcuff him, take him out to the police car outside, put him in there, but they leave him in the car for 4 hours.
Why on earth?
Paramedics, because they want to, seal off the scene and stuff like that, just make sure.
Do they not have another car to take him to the detention center?
I suppose it may be Christmas, maybe they late at night, maybe they've got police out doing other things, whatever.
Okay.
But anyway, the paramedics do show up, but they only check Heather because, just to confirm that she's dead.
Okay.
And they never check on him, they just leave him in the cop car. And eventually, so like 4 hours later, they eventually take him in for questioning.
Okay.
And so they get into the interrogation room, they leave him in there to begin with. And you can see there's actually a video of this on YouTube, like interrogation video. And he's just sat there, he's in a white suit that they've put him in, like a...
Suit?
Scrubs, like scrubs.
Yeah, the things that you wear, okay, yeah.
And he's in there and he's handcuffed to the table. And so during the start of the question, the cop comes in. And he's just saying he doesn't know why he's being held there and he just wants to go home.
Ryan, this is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the officer's just asking him simple questions and he's not answering them, or he's like evading the questions.
Okay.
And so it's such as like they ask him what's Heather's last name, and he says he doesn't know.
Juan.
Yeah, he doesn't. He says he doesn't know, and he's been with her for 8 months, and then he says a completely different name.
Okay.
And the policeman's like, well, we know what her name is. Why, like, not understanding why he's not answering it.
Okay.
And then they ask her how old she is, and he says she's 16 or 17 when she's 21.
What?
So it's all a bit weird. So obviously the officer's not believing him.
He's on drugs, that's why, isn't it?
Well, you'd think so, or something like that. So then after a bit more questioning, he just keeps saying he doesn't know to everything. I don't know, I just want to go home. Then eventually he says it was Heather's dad came in and shot the place up.
Heather's father? The girl's father?
Hang on a minute, I've got ahead of myself here.
Okay.
My notes are all out of back.
What
Let
happened?
me go back there. He does say that, but a bit later on.
Okay.
So, first of all, they ask what happened to his eye. And he says he thinks it was Heather that did it to him in an accident.
Okay.
He says that she hit him. This is afterwards. He then says she hit him while she was doing Christina's hair.
Who's Christina?
Christina from. They ask who Christina is, and he says she's the girl on the couch. So the police know it's Heather that's on the couch. And then they say, well, he then returns to saying that he doesn't know about anything and he just wants to sleep again. Then later he was asked again if Heather hit him, and he says, no, Alicia did.
Is he just making these names up, or there are people who are actually these names that they know?
Christina was a friend of theirs. Alicia, don't know where that came from. The policeman then tells him that the girl on the couch is dead, and then Ryan seems surprised by that and says that Richie and his dad did it.
Who the hell are these now?
Just no random names that he's brought up. Richie and his dad broke in and shot them with a bow and arrow.
What?
First of all.
By the way, when they checked on Heather, she was dead, but like, was she dead? Was there any...
Shot in the head.
Okay, so she was shot. Okay.
Yeah. And so he then changed it. So he says, so the cop says, like, he shot him with a bow and arrow. And then he says, no, they shot him with a revolver, a gun.
Yeah, I know what a revolver is.
Okay, just not everyone might not.
Okay.
So...
like a Magnum revolver?
I don't know.
I know, again, names. Anyway, just wanted to impress.
But he doesn't just say that they shot Heather. He says he shot them both.
Okay.
Rich and his dad, they broke in and they shot them both. So the cop says, well, where did they shoot you, Ryan? And he says, in the eye. So he's got this black eye that's swollen shut.
And so this Richie and his father is just random names that he made, just like he
Richie,
made Alicia and Christina, whatever.
Richie used to be his roommate. But yeah, he just brought them up, like he's mentioned all these other names.
Like out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after he says it like he got shot in the eye, the questioning goes back and forth again, and he's just contradicting himself and more confusion. And the officer says then, well, if they shot you in the eye, you'd be dead.
Exactly. He's making it up. He's on drugs. Isn't it? Tell me.
So then, obviously, he's not being believed. And that's when he says that Heather's dad then came in. And it was Heather's dad who came in and shot the place up.
Right.
But he says then that Richie is... So the officer says, so is Richie Heather's dad? And he says, yeah, but Richie isn't Heather's dad. Heather's dad's called something else completely.
Okay.
And then he says that her brother did it as well. It was Heather's dad and her brother that did it. So then he was asked, well, why didn't you call the police when that happened? And he just said, I was tired and I wanted to go to sleep. What
on earth is going here?
So the questioning carries on a bit more, but the officer I think it starts to dawn on him a little bit that, something not right here. He starts to think that, going from thinking that he's just lying to thinking that there might actually be something wrong with him. Maybe he's concussed or, or there's something.
But do they
physically.
Usually... Do they not do a drug test to see if he's intoxicated with something? It just makes no sense.
This is the thing. They just brought him straight from the scene. They put him in the car, left him there. Now they brought him to the police station. They've just left him in there. They just questioned him in there.
So he's just been interrogated by one police officer?
Yeah. So then, now it's starting to dawn on the officer that something might be wrong. He gets up and he actually looks at him. Takes a look into his eye.
The copper?
Yeah. And then...
The copper looks into Ryan's eye.
Yeah. And then he goes out the room for a minute. He says, just wait there a minute. Goes out the room. And then he comes back and says, we're taking you to hospital, Ryan. And...
Why?
Because he's looked at him and he thinks he can see a bullet hole in his eye.
Oh my God. And how is he not bleeding or nothing is happening? And how? Where in the eye? How is this possible?
Just in the corner of his eye. So
what?
So they get the paramedics in. They take him to hospital. But 6 hours have passed by the time he gets from.
He's gonna die.
He was first arrested to go into the hospital, and he gets operated on, and he did survive, but he had brain injuries.
Of course.
He suffered seizures for the rest of his life, and he died 10 years later, 2016. So he'd actually been...
He was telling the truth or what?
Well, I'll get to that. He'd actually been shot on the 23rd of December. So he'd lay there with Heather dead for 2.5 days, nearly 3 days. And just completely confused because he'd been shot and he had obviously...
Oh my
was just
goodness me.
out of it completely.
And he didn't bleed? I just don't understand. I can't comprehend it.
Well, no, obviously, that's all. It'd gone in his eye and just lodged. I don't know if it lodged in his brain or what, but obviously it didn't cause what you would normally expect from a gunshot wound.
That makes no sense. So he's been lay there, the poor guy, for almost 2 days.
Almost 3 days.
Oh my goodness.
And so they police did an investigation, and it turns out that Ryan had this Richard, the old housemate of his, he'd come round, they got into some sort of argument, they tried to break in, and they had guns, or Richie did, and they had a bit of a struggle, and they shot Ryan in the face, and they thought they'd killed him. So Heather was there, and they just shot her because they thought she was a witness. So that's the only reason they shot her.
Why did they kill them? I don't understand. What's the reason? Well, why did they get in an argument?
They think, he'd come to break in and take some stuff from the house.
To steal?
Yeah.
What, does he actually live? He doesn't live with him in the house at the moment?
No. He was an ex-roommate.
Okay.
So I didn't look into the full details of why he wanted to break in, blah blah blah, because it was more about the interrogation. This was all about. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he died in 2016.
10 years later.
Yeah, And so Richie and Ryan did it. And
Richie and Ryan? You mean Richie and his father?
His dad.
You are confused. Let me check your eye. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So they shot her just because she was a witness. But what I'm wanted to ask you about this though is like, what do you think should happen to the police there? Because they've taken him. Would you blame the guy who was interrogating him? Because I've looked on the internet and he gets a lot of abuse, the guy questioning him.
Like what?
Just saying like, like they should have noticed that he was incoherent and stuff like that. But he's not like a trained medic. So I think the people that did it originally, I mean, you can see his eyes badly swollen. He looks a mess. So you'd think they'd have checked him out, even though they think he's obviously the first thing you think is, well, he's a murderer, so they probably don't care about what he's feeling and stuff like that.
If he's a suspect.
Yeah, they probably just thought he's a scumbag, throw him in the car, we'll deal with him later. And yeah, I don't think that the guy doing the questioning did anything wrong, really. You'd have to see it properly. You'd have to watch it fully to fully understand it. But
okay. How long was the interrogation in the police station?
I think it lasted like between half an hour and an hour. It was quite a long interrogation before they realised. But yeah, it's a sad story, really, because, I mean, like, imagine that, just laying there with her for 3 days.
Yeah. I think, if anything, the copper who was interrogating did a good job for recognizing that. I mean, bear in mind, this is 2006, so maybe like they didn't have enough training as they do nowadays. Now a police officer knows a lot of things and knows how to respond to things, and they probably give them more like medical education about how to recognize signs and symptoms or like red flags of things.
I mean, I would imagine now, like that police department, they would just check everybody as soon as they arrive. Suspect, victim, everyone would get...
But I think the initial...
Especially when you've got injuries like he had, because it was clear he's had a serious injury to his eye.
Yeah, I think the initial response from the police, if they turned up and he was really confused, you said, didn't you? And he's had a black eye. I mean, it is just a miracle, and it's just really like, I can't comprehend how he's been shot in the eye and there's like no bleed or anything. It's just a black eye. But if it's a big, like if you can clearly see it, I would still get that checked up. So definitely, I wouldn't leave him in for 4 hours.
No. I mean, you've seen a black eye, and it looks bad, doesn't it? But this is like this is proper black. This is like ridiculously black eye. Yeah, fully swollen.
Definitely, I would like, from a medical point of view, like this part of the brain, like the frontal lobe, that's the part that you get you to like think and comprehend stuff, So if someone is acting the way that Ryan did and they saw the black eye, definitely I would like get him checked up. But like I say, it's 2006, so things probably haven't they're not advanced as they are at the moment.
I mean, I know it's 6 hours as well before he went from the house to the hospital. But if he's already been there for 48 hours more, then the damage is probably already done, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't help an extra 6 hours just sat there doing nothing.
No, absolutely not. So you say that he died, right?
Yeah, he died in 2016 from complications. He had a lot of seizures.
So what?
I think he just died from complications.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but I want to know, like, the 10 years that he lived, were they okay, or did he sustain a very bad, I would imagine,
brain injury? So
he was
I
disabled.
don't think he was disabled, but he had
I would imagine he's lost vision.
Disabled, yeah. Oh, he was blind in the eye.
Okay.
He lost his eye.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, he'd had some mental problems. So he wasn't the same person. He wasn't like
mental health.
Some seizures, and that was it. It was actually proper, lost mental capacity.
Yeah. That makes total sense if you, given the injury that he sustained. Oh, and has anything been done about this?
Well, the police didn't suffer any consequences on the back of it.
Did the family sue the police or the county or?
I think that's still ongoing. Actually, I think they've tried to get damages for it. I've not fully looked into that, to be completely honest with you.
I mean, from a family point of view, I would pursue that. So I think they have the complete right to
I think so.
to sue the county or the country or the police, whoever, whichever authority. But yeah, I don't have any bad feelings toward the interrogator at all. Do you?
No, I didn't know. Not watching it.
You didn't. So you mean you have now?
No, I don't know, not at all. I mean, because like you watch some of the videos and you read the comments, it's like, he should have been sacked and blah, blah, blah. I don't think so. I don't get anything wrong.
Was he nice? Because often when I watch those type of programs and they are the American interrogators, they are just like, I just don't think they're fair, and I don't like the way they interrogate people. I think it's a bit inhumane sometimes.
Yeah.
And the way they like insist. And I feel sometimes when people, this is not in Ryan's case, but sometimes when people have been sat there for like 10 hours, I know that, and from when I was little, if my parents kept telling me, is it you? Did you do that? And even if like my interrogation obviously didn't last 10 hours, I would eventually give in because I was like, I can't be bothered. I'll just say it for the sake of it. But obviously they will suffer much harder consequences than I would have done from like, you are grounded.
Yeah, we've seen that, haven't we, when they questioned them for like 24 hours straight and stuff like that. But
so was he like that?
This guy seemed, he just wanted to know what had happened, and he just kept asking him. And he was getting frustrated, but of course you would do, and the guy keeps changing his story every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's not answering. So, but he wasn't pushing, he wasn't saying, you've done this, haven't you, Ryan? You've done this, trying to put words into his mouth. There was none of that.
Okay.
He was just asking him like genuine questions. So have you done? And then when he changed his story, he'd say, so, okay, let me get this straight then. This happened, and then he changed his story again, and then he was genuinely trying to just piece the story together.
Yeah.
But not getting anywhere, obviously, because he kept changing it every 5 seconds.
I think it's actually, he is like the contributor to them recognizing that he's sustained a brain injury, because imagine that he got really frustrated with him and he was like, you know what, we're just like concluding the interview, you're going to the cell and, see you later. Because he could have just died, he could have just not gotten the help that he had gotten at the end had the interrogator not recognized that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, this was a really interesting story. I think it would be better to watch it because you have, it was a very brief story. I wonder if this was 10 minutes.
Since we started talking?
Yeah, what do you think?
It's been more than that.
Has it?
But anyway, there's loads of videos on YouTube. Just search for Ryan Waller interrogation on YouTube, and I'm sure you'll find it. And have a listen yourself, and there's loads of videos on it, so check it out. It's quite graphic, though, if you don't like... to be honest with you, it's not that graphic, because it's 2006 and it's CCTV. It's not...
I highly doubt
it's not HD. You can just see a guy sat there with a black eye. But there's pictures on there. You can see like
this is really interesting, like from a medical point of view, to like look exactly what happened. I wonder if there like any reports out there about that, any medical reports. That would be interesting to read. Neurological.
You can have a read about on the plane tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Interesting. I brought my book. Anyway, thanks, my love, for the story. Thanks for your efforts. Always, always appreciated. I hope that we have a little bit lighter and like more fun story in the future. I might bring some stories from Istanbul.
Maybe.
Istanbul. Anyway, have a listen, guys. Let us know what you think. And drop us a comment on Instagram. Don't forget to follow us if you don't already. It is at the Arab and the Manc. And it's the Arab and the Manc on all the other platforms out there. YouTube, Spotify, Podcast, Apple Podcast, and Podbean. whatever you fancy. Thanks for listening, and we will see you again. Oh, we will speak to you again next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Good night.
See you later.
Good night, Seattle.
We love you.
Bye.